You know, I think it's fascinating to hear other people's opinion from time to time, especially when such a big show comes out like AEW All Out 2020. Because surprisingly, a lot of people claim that this show was one of the worst, if not the worst, pay per view from AEW of all time of their existence, and without a doubt, the worst from AEW in 2020. But for me personally, it was one of the best, if not the best, pay per view of 2020 so far. And it really took me by surprise because, yeah, it has some flaws and one massive one, but to be honest, in my opinion, all the good outshine everything bad that happened on the show. And some moments really shine like a diamond in comparison to other shows or other moment of other shows. It doesn't matter from AEW or WWE or New Japan. And why it was surprising for me? Well, basically because the last AEW pay per view was good, but not as good as we all expected. But surprisingly, a lot of people took it very calmly, and me personally, I was disappointed until Sadie Stampede match because it took all the show and escalated it to another level. But overall, I was really struggling to look forward for this show because the last one was so slow, sloppy, and it didn't really satisfy me apart from the last two matches and Shida versus Nyla Rose. Everything else in the show was fine. But this one, well, let's talk about this one. Even pre-show was fun. You know, it's very common for AEW that their pre-show was fun, fast-paced matches, but here there was no build at all. We had Joey Janela versus Serpentico. What the fuck, right? This match comes out from out of nowhere. It probably is gonna be fine, whatever. 5 to 10 minute match. And you know what? I enjoyed this match for what it was. We saw what Joey Janela is capable of. We saw what Serpentico is capable of. And they had fun little match that went for like 10 minutes, I want to say. And surprisingly, I enjoyed it. I don't watch Dark that much. I knew about Serpentico, but every single match with him was like, what, 5 minute max that I saw. Joey Janela didn't really show anything apart from last appearance with against Chris Jericho and some other appearance with Sonic Kiss. Again, they were doing a lot of stuff on Dark, but how I said, I wasn't really invested in this. So being satisfied with this match was very good for my experience. Then we had Private Party versus the Dark Order in faces of Alex Reynolds and John Silver. These guys, they surprising me with every show that they're in. They showing that if they're gonna go as far as they're going right now, and they're gonna be able to evolve and do their move smoothly, do their move more correctly, and express themselves a little bit differently, bring something else to their gimmick on Dynamite, not only BTE. I think AEW should push these guys, obviously not for the titles, but at the very least, get rid of their masks and let them cut some promos, let them be part of Dark Order like Stu Grayson and Evil Uno are. I know that their characters are fucking losers, but in the ring, they are fucking good. And yeah, they lost to Private Party, but that was a very fun, fast-paced, cool match where you really didn't know who should win because those guys need to win, but also those guys needs to win. Dark Order gonna be on the main show, and spoiler, they're gonna lose, surprisingly, but in a very good way. But also here's Dark Order losing too. So maybe you should have went for Dark Order? And to be honest, I wouldn't mind. But I guess for Private Party, this is must-win situation because they're out of top 5 ranking, or they're nearly out of top 5 ranking, so they needed this match to climb the leadership, to climb in the rankings. And as I said, those two keep surprising me, how good they actually are on the ring. Private Party had a smooth match, which is from time to time surprising when you look at some other of their matches, especially at Double or Nothing. Oof. But again, this is all of pre-show, and it was two fun, fast-paced match that didn't really took me out of the show, you know. I was invested in their matches even though they had absolutely zero build. They had absolutely zero right to be on the pre-show or the main show because this is Dynamite/Dark type of match. But you know what? I'm cool with it. But then the whole show started, and it started with Britt Baker versus Big Swole in a cinematic match that should have been at a pre-show at first, but because of the fans' backlash, they decided to put it on the main show. And you know what? This was dumb. It was stupid in a right way. I really fucking enjoyed this. It was a little bit of thriller, in quotation, a little bit of everything. Silliness, trying to spook your opponent out, maybe even weird you out with the nails and trying to, throw somebody out of the car, some stuff like this. And yeah, it was dumb. Yeah, it was weird. But I really fucking enjoyed it. AEW shows that they can do cinematic matches if they need to and if they want to. And I'm the one who says, no, we should do cinematic matches if we need to do cinematic matches once for a big show. Then you don't need to make it on smaller shows, on Dynamite, whatever. Only maybe some segments. And they are proving me right, because if we're gonna have some fun cinematic match between Matt Hardy, if he's alright, hopefully with someone else, I'm not gonna mind this, because if Than's not gonna be there, of course, because they showing that they are capable of doing fun cinematic matches that, even though they are stupid, you can enjoy them. Britt Baker lost in her first match after coming back out of the injury, which is also a little bit of, oh, so she's not fully prepared to have one-on-one match, because they needed to do this cinematic type of match. But it's fine, let her rest for a little bit more, cut some promos, and then come back to the ring, because hopefully she's going to be able to fight fully in 2 weeks, or maybe 3 weeks. Then we had the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express. To be honest, it was one of my favorite matches. It was fast-paced, spot-fest. So much stuff is going on, but also a lot of tension, a lot of drama in this match in a way that I didn't expect. Because Young Bucks, instead of being desperate and really sad, they were being fucking heels. They are mean motherfuckers. They are disrespectful towards Jurassic Express. They don't give a flying fuck about their feelings or opinion, because they're gonna kick and super kick poor Marco throw out of this fucking planet. And they did it in this match. It was great. So many near falls, so many innovative moves, so many cool stuff that I barely can remember all of them, which is a bullshit because I'm not able to remember all of this. But the most memorable one were Luchasaurus doing a chokeslam from near like a top rope on Nick Jackson, and he doing a fucking moonsault and landing right on his fucking back from a chokeslam. Oh, that was cruel. And he did it like twice. They had a lot of cool moments with Jungle Boy and Matt Jackson trying to do the suplex, Northern Light suplex, and then going through the ropes, and then going for another suplex and another. Unfortunately, they kind of botched it, but still, it didn't take away anything from this match. A lot of people, as I noticed after watching the whole show, didn't even notice this botch. They were like, oh, well, I thought it was planned. And I was like, oh, well, that's great that you didn't notice this one, because we all noticed the next botch that came in. Son of a bitch. This botch gonna keep me out laughing until the whole night. But as I said, Young Bucks were heel. They were not dominating, actually, throughout this match. It was very much 50-50, with Jurassic Express coming up on top, even having two great near falls after hitting the finisher and one more. But then Luchasaurus is out of the ring, they knock him out, they doing super kick on Jungle Boy, 1, 2, he kicks out. They're doing double super kick, 1, 2, he kicks out, and only BT Trigger is capable of putting him down. I think this match was incredible. It put over Jungle Boy massively. It put over Young Bucks as a heel massively. It really achieved everything that they were going for. And I really enjoyed this match. And we all knew it's going to be quality, but I didn't expect it to be so bloody good. Then we had Casino Battle Royal, and I had my worries with it, because the last one was basically a joke one. Even though Adam Page won and went to All Out to fight against Chris Jericho for the first ever title opportunity for AEW World Heavyweight Championship, but a lot of people in this match were like indie wrestlers that a lot of people didn't know about. So to have so many superstars, actual top stars of the company in this match, was either risky, either weird for some other people. For others, it was very intriguing, because until the end, you didn't know who's going to win. I put my money on 3 people: Lance Archer, Eddie Kingston, and the surprising opponent. Surprising opponent was 21st, who appeared to be Matt Sydal. Oh, poor soul. Came out, tried to do shooting star press with his first move in the ring, slipped for the top rope, and oh my god, it was nasty landing, nearly breaking his neck. Hopefully he's fine, and he was fine, because he was able to continue the match, and there were no other botches from him. But this one, this one really sucks, because I like Matt Sydal, and he was good throughout this whole match, apart from this fucking botch. But you know what? Overall, it was a little bit sloppy from time to time, but much more constructive, much more better made Casino Battle Royal than any other we had before, or in comparison to the previous Double or Nothing, this Casino ladder match, which was so sloppy that you think to yourself, yeah, it was good, but it was so goddamn sloppy, it was so goddamn ruined by some botches that you try and remember a lot of positives, but you also remember a lot of negatives. When I try to remember about this match, of course, first what I think is Matt Sydal's botch, but everything else, like Darby Allin being put into the back, body bag with nails, with everything in it, being thrown out of the ring, near landing on top of his head, near bleeding out, that was cool. Brian Cage destroying some people, Lance Archer destroying some people, that was real cool. This guy, Hope Show, something like this, I'm really sorry that I don't remember this guy's name, who had a good match against Darby Allin, and reportedly AEW are really keen on making, well, not making he's a big star, but really pushing this guy a little bit step by step by step. And he had some very good moments. He eliminated a couple of big stars. And surprisingly, he was not MVP, but, very close to the title of MVP of this match. Very memorable showing from this guy. I think he has a bright future ahead of him. Maybe not in AEW, but outside, when the world comes back to some sort of form of normality, yeah, I think he has a chance of being a star, at least a secondary champion. Two last guys were Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston, and here I was really struggling because both of those guys can have a good match, and if Eddie Kingston would won, I would be more questioning the ending of Jon Moxley versus MJF because, yeah, Eddie Kingston is a heel, but Eddie Kingston MJF dynamic with those promos, with the style of match, can actually work. When Lance Archer versus MJF doesn't really work for me, you know? So I immediately thought when Lance Archer won that MJF is not winning. Even though I was really thinking until this match that MJF is gonna win. And you know what? They put on a great show, MJF and Jon Moxley. And I'm really not that disappointed because without a doubt, MJF will be the next champion. Well, not the next, but he will be the champ sooner rather than later. But I think they have some sort of story in plan. And Lance Archer as a champion could work. But will we have Lance as a champ? Or will we have Kenny Omega fighting at Revolution 1 year after Jon Moxley got this title, coming back to the feud and then beating Jon Moxley for the title and feuding against Adam Page later on the line? That might be a money-making feud. Who knows what they're gonna do? You can put Lance Archer as a champ, make him a dominant champ, something that should have been Brody Lee, but he smartly said no more open challenges, no more bullshit, no more time for indie guys, and to have the champ that's just gonna brutally ruin everyone for 6 months. Yes, please. Anyway, it doesn't matter where they're gonna go from here. I think all of this can work. And, oh boy, let's talk about the worst thing in the show. Without a doubt, Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in a broken rules match. It started very good, you know. Sammy paying homage to Matt Hardy trying and actually hitting him with a golf cart, trying to do the same thing to Matt, running wild, but failing. Then they had a couple of punch exchange, DDT on a table, and then they go into this escalator and they trying to go through 2 tables. Fail. Going through only one. Matt hit his head. Excuse me for this mumbling. Hit his head and he passed out for a couple of seconds. RB Edwards calls out of the match, says no, he's no longer is able to fight. In reality, Tony Khan just stopped the match. He was worried about Matt Hardy. They had a conversation. Doctor checked him out of the screen. And then they continued the match. Try to do something else, doing it for another spot. Going out, you know, going out on the ramp, trying to climb this steel thing, you know, that holds some wires and everything else. Climbing up, Sammy Guevara falls down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was kind of last man in Full Scott Anywhere match. That's what Broken Rules stand for. Sammy Guevara lost. Matt Hardy won. After this, Matt Hardy went to hospital. They checking on him. And right now, we're recording this like nearly 1 day after the show. And so far, Matt Hardy haven't speaked about this, but reportedly, he's fine, he doesn't have a concussion, and he feels better. That's all that we know at the moment. Ray Hardy is saying that you don't know anything, he 1000% got a concussion, but we will see. But Tony Khan said that Matt Hardy is fine, and actually we might be able to hear from him at Wednesday Night Dynamite. It's a very dodgy situation. It was very shitty, not gonna lie. I enjoyed the first part of the match when everything went well. Then the botch happened. I don't think the match should have continued, and it really made me feel uncomfortable. But then we had Thunder Rosa versus Hikaru Shida match, and a lot of people are claiming that this was their match of the night. Not mine, but very good match where Hikaru Shida won. But the problem with this match was that crowd was, if not dead, they were really silent, because either they were in shock after what happened, either they were burnt out after what happened. They just didn't react to a very, very good match between Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. And it really showed that AEW should go for Thunder Rosa no matter what. They need to try to get her, if not full time, then at least for a couple more matches to put over some other stars and to beat some other women's in AEW. Because she really kicked ass, kicking out of Falcon Arrow at 1, doing some Hikaru Shida moves, as, anything you can do, I can do better. She putting off a great fight overall, which didn't really surprise me, but as you all know, I'm not a big fan of women's wrestling, but this one really pleased. How should I put it in words? It really surprised me in a very good way, because they definitely outperformed what I expected from them. Even though I knew that they both are very good stars, I didn't expect such a good match. Then we had something that I think should have been on Dynamite last week, because it was Dark Order versus Natural Nightmares, Scorpio Sky, and Matt Cardona. How I said before, Natural Nightmares won after a very interesting turn of events. It was a good match, no doubt, fast-paced, a lot of stuff happening. Natural Nightmares trying to get over with Dark Order, but every time losing because Brody Lee comes out, stop all the momentum. Then Stu Grayson and Evil Uno working together well, and Colt Cabana trying to do something, who was wearing all Dark Order color merch, colored outfit, which was a very interesting detail. Failing, then giving a tag to someone like Brody Lee or Evil Uno, and they taking control of the match. This is how the match went. Nearly all 15 minutes that it went. From time to time, Matt Cardona had some good showing, doing Rough Rider after Rough Rider, or Radio Silence like it's called now. Scorpio Sky showed what he's capable of. QT Marshall put on a very good performance. And then Dusty Rhodes picked up a win after pinning Colt Cabana, because Brody Lee nearly fucking killed QT Marshall. Or did QT Marshall pick up a win? It doesn't matter, because Colt Cabana decided, instead of going for the pin, go for a moonsault, fucked it up, got rolled up 1, 2, 3, and they lost. And that's why it was a very good twist of events, because obviously Dark Order should have won to keep the momentum. But continuing with the Colt Cabana storyline, where he doesn't feel that he's able of taking a win by himself, he felt overconfident in himself. He decided to go for one more move, and it cost the win for the whole Dark Order. And the first time he was feeling that he's fitting into this group of people, the first time he belonged somewhere in AEW, I said he was wearing Dark Order outfit, they put him down. Brody Lee screams at him and leaves him alone, and only Evil Uno decided to pick him up and go to the back with him. Where this is gonna lead us to, who knows? Will Colt Cabana leave Dark Order? Yes, it's a matter of time. But in what fashion will he go? This is a different question. After this match, we had a great babyface promo from Dusty Rhodes that said that this win is for Cody. They kicked their ass, and then he finds out that he's gonna have a TNT match for TNT title, against Brody Lee next week on Dynamite. It should be a very interesting match where Dustin gonna have a little bit of offense, but then he's gonna get absolutely nailed by discus clothesline from Brody Lee, and it's gonna be a 1-2-3 win for Brody Lee. But I really want to see this match because Dusty Rhodes is capable of putting on a great performance, and Brody Lee is capable of doing the same thing. So it should be very, very good. Then we have last three matches that were great. FTR versus Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. You know how much I fucking love this story. I think it's the best story in wrestling right now. It's outstanding. Everything they did so far with this story was great. And this match was no different. You know when I said about feeling emotions, something that I haven't felt in a lot of other pay-per-views. This match brought me back from this Sammy Guevara Matt Hardy spot to the normality, because since the beginning of this match, I forgot about everything that happened before, apart from the story that they had, and I was focused. I was focused and I was looking at this match, and it was great. Near falls, drama, personal drama between Hangman Page and Kenny Omega that at first they couldn't work together, but then a couple of seconds later they started working together, beating the living shit of FTR. FTR obviously trying to put them down, working on Kenny Omega's knee so he couldn't do V-trigger and last call effectively. Working in this 80s gruesome, style of wrestling. 80s heels. Oh, great stuff. So many good things about this match that you should call. And the ending was fucking brilliant. Kenny's Omega leg barely works. They try to go for buckshot lariat. Cash dodges. And also Kenny ducks, buckshot lariat. Throws away Cash. Goes for V-trigger. Cash ducks one more time. Boom. Kenny Omega hits Hangman Page right on his face. They picking him up. Goodnight Express. 1, 2. He kicks out. Oh my bloody god. They're going for it again. Nails him. Kenny Omega tries to save him. 1, 2, 3. FTR are your new tag team champions in a great near 30-minute match that you should absolutely watch. Was it as good as Revolution match between Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus Young Bucks? Probably no. Was it really fucking good and you should watch it? Absolutely. Great storytelling, great wrestling, and some FTR matches in AEW and in WWE effectively were either slow, either not really interesting to watch. This one was their best match in AEW so far, blew everything out of the water, and bloody hell, you should just watch it. It was so damn good. Speaking of good, then we had after-match segment, which was again outstanding. They decided to go with a story that Kenny Omega grabbed something, some sort of, not table, but, not chair, but something similar to it, some weird shit that he wanted to hit Hangman Page with, but he couldn't. He threw it out. Hangman Page went to hug Kenny Omega, and he just let him go and let him fall. Kicked the beer. Another great shot from camera that got absolutely nailed with this beer and it's all wet. And he just leaves. He finds Box and he told them that he's done with Hangman. He goes his way. He goes his way. It's time to come back to the cleaner mode. It's time to come back to the cleaning mode. And are you with me or are you not? And he just leaves saying, just think about it. Lives in a car. Rides away. And holy fuck, what are we about to see in the next couple of months? I am really, really looking forward to finding out what's going to happen, because this is still the best thing in wrestling. And I don't give a flying fuck about anything else. I can't wait to see what's going to happen on Dynamite, next Dynamite, and so on and so on. Because the heel turn is getting closer and closer. The matter will be how they're going to do this and when they're going to do this. Speaking of good again, we had the best match between Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho. The best out of the 3 encounters that they had in a Mimosa Mayhem match. It was fun. It started really well with Orange Cassidy teasing, hands in the pocket, running wild on Chris Jericho, getting nailed with Codebreaker, and you're like, really? Oh no. Well, they're gonna end just like this? And they're gonna throw Chris Jericho after match into Mimosa? No, 1-2, he kicks out and had a great 15-minute match, which was fun, which was a little bit extreme, getting hit with glass, getting hit with pots where champagne stands, very, very interesting and very emotional, if you can say, because there were some moments where Orange Cassidy or Chris Jericho nearly falls down into Mimosa that was standing, near the ring. And it was really emotional because you're like, oh, no, don't fall. Or like, yeah, just fall. Ah, for fuck's sake. And as I said, it was definitely the best out of all encounters that I had. It was definitely worth watching because it was 15 minutes. It wasn't overdone. It wasn't fast paced, but it was in a nice pace that you can look at and you can, just enjoy. And after match, Orange Cassidy won after 2 Superman patches. Right as a Jericho's face when he was hanging on the ropes, and then of course he fell into Mimosa because we all knew he wants to do this. That's the only reason why this match was even created. And then we had MJF versus Jon Moxley, doubtably my match of the night, because Jurassic Express versus Jungle Boy was fucking fantastic. Same goes for FTR versus Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. Same goes basically to Hikaru Shida versus Thunder Rosa. And this match was brilliant, with a great story that they've been telling every single week. If we're going outside, that's Moxley's territory. If we're going into the ring, that's MJF's territory. And this is exactly what we saw. Every time they were outside of the ring, Moxley dominated. Every time we were inside the ring, MJF proves that he is a great wrestler and that he's capable of standing toe-to-toe with such a big name like Jon Moxley. It was a great match, great wrestling match, with a little bit of hardcore spot where MJF totally bled himself, paying homage to his master, Cody Rhodes, and it was so good, It was so simple in a way that, yeah, we know how this match is going to go. The main question, who will win? The main question, how we're going to do the finish? With a couple of great near falls where Jon Moxley, for example, tries to go for Paradigm Shift, remembers that he cannot do this, and immediately getting put into Fujiwara Umber, the salt of the earth, and then being so close to tapping out. Or when MJF once again blindside the ref, hits a low blow, hits Crossroads, and what a symbolism it would be winning Jon Moxley against Jon Moxley with the move of Cody, and Cody, who's no longer able to compete for the main title, winning with his move. It would be so disrespectful. But it's only 1, 2, no, he kicks out. The finish to the match when Wardlow throw diamond ring, MJF couldn't catch it, finds the ring, looks up, here comes Jon Moxley that stares right at his face, hits Paradigm Shift behind ref's back, 1, 2, 3, he retains in a great fashion, and I heard a lot of people throwing backlash into this match like, oh, MJF didn't win, he's the future and he should have won right now, and I agree with them at first point, but then after watching this match you're like, That was fantastic. And we know that MJF gonna say that was illegal. He won only because of the paradigm shift. He should not be victorious. He should not be the champion after this match. Then Lance Archer comes out and absolutely destroys Jon Moxley while MJF just runs away. This is how they should do it, and MJF should not go and disappear from the title picture. He should always remind us that I will be the champion. It's just a matter of time. And then, how I said before, you have so many ways of how you can go. With Lance Archer being a champion, with Moxley being a champion, with the next challenger and the next challenger. There's so many good stuff that still hidden over there. And still, MJF should always be near this title picture, because he's gonna make it only better. So overall, we had one awful situation with Matt Hardy getting injured and throwing out possibly a very fun match with a lot of hardcore spots and a lot of weird stuff like Broken Universe or again hitting and chasing with a car. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. We had an alright match in Dark Order versus Natural Nightmares and Cody's friends, and everything else on the show was great. So I can't look down the camera or right into your face and say with a straight face that it was meh show, it was a bad show only because of one bad thing that happened. How I said, for me personally, it didn't really took away out of this pay-per-view that much that it did to others, because I can understand why you couldn't enjoy the show after that awful situation with Matt. But for me personally, during FTR and Kenny Omega match, I was able to feel this emotion again, being so invested, going actually nuts after every single near fall, because you're like, it can be the finish. Oh my god. No, it wasn't. Oh my god, my heart. Jesus Christ. And this emotion was something that I missed with every single other pay-per-view. No shit. Every single other pay-per-view, I don't remember having such a, such a feeling after near fall, after the match is going to an end, after the match is happening right in front of my eyes, So I can't lie to you, and I will say it. In my opinion, this was possibly the best show of 2020 so far. I would love to hear your opinion. Why you didn't like the show, why you did like the show. Was this Matt Hardy situation too much for you and you couldn't enjoy the show after this? Or was it just like me, it was horrible, but after a couple of matches you again became invested into what happening in the ring, rather what's happening outside of the ring in the hospital? And it was my opinion on what happened at All Out. Next thing that I'm gonna do will be Messi staying at Barcelona and how it's gonna affect him and Barcelona in general and Barcelona fans. I know I said I'm not gonna do a follow-up unless he's gonna go somewhere, but this situation is a little bit different to what I expected. So, hear you in a couple of days, maybe tomorrow, and hopefully you enjoyed this review of the show. And goodbye.